Hey guys, off the mic Sports Network here. Do a little football content here with some Browns thoughts. Man, I feel like I just need to just get up on my soapbox every time with how dumb this fucking fan base is. Because swear to God, I'm reading takes like this one. People saying that the best path for the Browns is draft Shedeur Sanders. He works out. You have your QB. He fails. You win 2 games. The Browns can't afford to win 6 games with the bridge and have to trade up in 2026 for a quarterback. So you either strike gold with Shedeur or you do it all over again. That's a real tweet from Nick Carnes, who is a Browns fanboy who I've been very critical of, and I don't think he's an accurate representation of this fan base. But some people probably truly believe that there is this push in this fan base that the Browns and I saw Dustin Fox, who's done local radio in Cleveland, say that, hey, the Browns, maybe they don't need to take a quarterback, but Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski need to take a quarterback because otherwise they're going to get fired, which is probably right, which is just a horrendous reflection of where we are and what the Deshaun Watson, trade and contract has really done to this organization, where they're going to be basically paying Deshaun Watson to go away for basically 6 years. He's going to be on their cap sheet. I don't understand, and I feel like I have to scream at the top of my lungs, as Ron Burgundy would say, on top of a mountain, to say you don't need to take a quarterback if the quarterback is not worth the value of the pick that you have. It's not that hard, okay? It's not that hard. I'm reading that tweet from Nick Carnes, who is one of the social media influence guys in Brown's Twitter, and just the sheer idea of it is like, oh, we'll take Shedeur Sanders number 2, and if it doesn't work, we're just going to do this all over again. What? So we're just pulling straws, or we're just taking chances here? Pulling lottery tickets? The fuck are we doing? Guys, we've been doing this for 25 years. If you don't think that the quarterback is right, then there's no sense in even wasting the pick. Plus, there's better players clearly at number 2 that you can take. I've said it. Mason Graham from Michigan. I don't know if I'd take him at 2. He's an outstanding player, and I would take him over these quarterbacks. It's just because they had a horrendous whiff, and the best quarterback that they've had in the last 25 years is now standing out because they had to move off of him. Just because all of that is going on doesn't mean that you have to overcorrect your situation and basically say, yeah, we got to go take Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, even though they're not better than 5 of the guys that were taken in the first 15 picks last year. What are we talking about, guys? I figured a lot of people in this fan base would be smart enough to understand the basics of football. But I think that this perception of that, hey, you could take a quarterback 1 or 2 overall and automatically go to the playoffs. Guys, Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud were different breeds. Look at what happened with the Carolina Panthers. They drafted Bryce Young. He's just finally starting to figure it out. And these guys are worse than Bryce Young, at least in terms of grade. Some people are starting to think Bryce Young might be better than CJ Stroud. It just took him forever to figure it out. You want to know why it didn't work? They had a bad organization. They had a bad team. If you take Shedeur Sanders or you take Cam Ward now, when Joe Bitonio is on the verge of retiring, he may retire after this year. Wyatt Teller's up after this season. David Njoku's going to be up after this season. They're going to have to shuffle so many pieces on this team because they're going to have to eat a bunch of Deshaun Watson money because he ain't going to play next year. You're better off trying it out with a bridge. If that doesn't work out, then hell, Arch Manning might be available in 2026. You'll have other people available. Carson Beck might look a lot better than he did now that he's at Miami. There's other people in the draft that you can go look at and basically say, well, shit, this is a better option. Hell, you could take a guy in the 2nd or 3rd round and maybe that becomes a flyer guy. I'd feel more comfortable doing that. But when you're telling me that at number 2 overall, because I've seen the Browns make a lot of bad selections at the top of drafts. And maybe that's why I'm so strong and steadfast in my belief that they don't need to force this. But you're not winning the Super Bowl next year. You're not. And Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward are not taking you there either in a couple of years down the line. These guys are not, they're going to need to build through over the course of time. And the Browns, just like they don't have the money or the resources to really even do that. Also, you're going to have to reset a lot of this too, because like I said, a bunch of key contributors are not going to be back. They're winding down their careers. You're going to probably have to replace Nick Chubb because his knee and his leg is starting to fall apart, and he's taking a lot of punishment. And I love Nick Chubb to death. One of my favorite Cleveland Browns of all time. That's the other part of this. One of my other favorite Cleveland Browns of all time, he don't want to be there in Myles Garrett. So you think bringing in a rookie quarterback's going to change any of that? What the fuck are we talking about, guys? Like this narrative of like, okay, take a swing, and if it doesn't work, we'll just do it again. Guys, they took their one swing in Deshaun Watson, and it worked out horrendously. That doesn't mean that you have to take another whiff, an unnecessary risk, when there's just quarterbacks there and they're not worth the value of where you're selecting. These picks are premium value. When you have these opportunities, you've got to make the right decision. And unless they're sure, and you know what? If they take them, then you know what? Then the front office believes that because they're under a lot of pressure. If it were me, I wouldn't do it. And I don't understand why this fan base can't fundamentally understand, with all of the bad quarterbacks that we have seen, that just taking a swing at one of the top quarterback prospects in the worst draft QB class in 3 years is going to change a goddamn thing about this organization. Come on. Y'all got to be smarter than this. And I'll keep saying this through the damn offseason the more I see this bullshit. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.